Welcome back, everyone, here to Bronx Talks. Today, got a very special video for you guys. We are going to be talking about the Yankees and if they will make a trade before opening day. There's been a lot of speculation that the Yankees might move a player here before opening day. This all comes because they have a lot of middle infielders and they probably can't keep all of them on the team. Um, Obviously, they've been trying out IKF in some utility role. We'll get to that in a second. But last year, the Yankees made a couple moves during spring training. Near the end of spring training, they traded for Miguel Castro from the Mets. And like 5 days before opening day, they traded for Jose Trevino. Now, obviously, that was a lockout. Spring training started late. They kind of had to put things together. I get that, but they did that last year. And Brian Cashman said a few days ago that during the first half of spring training, things are kind of slow. You don't really get many calls. Everyone just seeing what their team is. But during the second half of spring training, after teams have kind of seen what they have, that's when you receive more trade calls, and that's when you get on the phone. And Cashman said teams might be knocking on the Yankees' door for some of their players. So it's really going to be interesting to see if the Yankees do make a trade. A lot of people think they do. So Christian, what do you think?
I look, I very well believe that a trade is coming. In this video, we're not necessarily going to be throwing out potential candidates for who they're going to trade for because they're not at that point in talks where there's rumors circulating about guys for who they're going to acquire. It's more players that are on the Yankees that kind of like have to be traded.
On the
Or,
trade block, yeah.
yeah, no one has to be traded, but like there's just too many people at one position. And I'll start off by talking about IKF because I think he's the most obvious. There's been some rumors with the Dodgers, the Rockies, but nothing too real yet. The Yankees are trying him out in center field. Personally, I don't get it at all. He doesn't have any arm strength. He has zero outfield experience. I don't get why the Yankees treat this guy like Babe Ruth. He has never had a season in his career with an OPS plus above 100. So he's been a below average hitter for his entire career. But the Yankees just are doing whatever they can to find a spot for him in the lineup. I don't get it. I think the Yankees' best option would be to trade him. I'm sure they are looking for teams that would want him. Although part of me doesn't know, Ryan, because IKF was like the first move the Yankees made this offseason. The signing him to a $6 million contract. So part of me thinks that the Yankees might actually believe he's the key to their team, and they maybe they're not even shopping him. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, they did that to avoid arbitration. I mean, yeah, I get it. A lot of fans were, a little bit mad at that, but I don't blame the Yankees for that. I mean, they probably wanted to see what they could get out of him, and if not, they'll keep him on their bench. I would be utterly shocked if IKF was the starting shortstop. I don't think there's a
I don't think he's
possibility
going to be the
in
shortstop. No, I'm not.
yeah, I don't think there's a possibility in which that happens. But to your point, Christian, it's so strange that they're trying him in center field and trying to make him into this utility player. If the Yankees didn't have a utility player on the team, he, I think, could be a very nice bench piece for the Yankees. Could come in there, play a few positions, but they they have two utility players on their team. They have Oswaldo Cabrera, who plays the infield and outfield, and they also have DJ LeMahieu, who plays the infield, all around the infield. So it doesn't make much sense why they're doing this and putting them in center field. Are you crazy? It doesn't make any sense at all. But I think IKF definitely is a trade candidate for the Yankees. They have so many middle infielders. He doesn't really have a spot on the team. I don't know if he'll have a spot on the bench. So you would suspect if anyone was to go, he would be the first guy. And I think maybe the Yankees are just trying to raise his trade value and maybe see if he could play center field. Like I said, I have no idea what's going on there.
Maybe, and I really hope that's what they're doing. But I'll say this: if he's on the team in 2023, I just know the Yankees are going to mess it up. I just know he's going to be taking playing time away from somebody who deserves it. And it's not his fault, but it's just kind of how the Yankees handled it last year. And I really don't trust them for next year. Now, moving away from IKF, another candidate to be traded is Oswald Peraza. Now, I know at first, throwing out that name, why are we trading Oswald Peraza? He's our number 3 prospect, number 2 even on some lists. He just, if you want Anthony Volpe playing shortstop this season, where's Oswald Peraza playing? You've Gleyber Torres at second, and then either Josh Donaldson or DJ LeMahieu at third. What are you going to do with Oswald Peraza? Are you just going to sit him on the bench? He's too high of a prospect to do that. So that's where I think a trade comes in with him. And I really could see it, Ryan.
I definitely could see it too, Christian. I would be let me tell you right now, Christian, I would be utterly shocked if that trade happened like before opening day. I could see it potentially happening at the trade deadline if something formulated. But Hal Steinbrenner said it like today while we're filming. He said he thinks Oswald Peraza and Anthony Volpe are going to be the future of the Yankees infield. He probably means that, but it is a business, obviously, and if the right deal comes along, they might just have to cut ties. But I think he's more on like the unlikely side, but I definitely think in some ways it is possible. So we'll see what happens there. And the final guy we have potentially in the infield is Gleyber Torres. Obviously, the Yankees were shopping Torres at last year's trade deadline. It kind of messed him up. And then a lot of people were suspecting he was going to get traded in the offseason. Didn't seem to happen. And look, Gleyber Torres is a solid player. He's a solid second baseman. Should have been an all-star last year. The Yankees aren't just going to give this guy away. And so we'll see what happens there. I don't know. Similar to Peraza, if the right deal comes along, maybe the Yankees do it. I could potentially see it at the trade deadline. But as of now, I think Gleyber and Peraza are staying 100% till opening day. And near the trade deadline.
I think the most realistic scenario is Oswald Peraza's the opening day shortstop. Anthony Volpe starts the season in AAA, Torres at second. They see how the first half of the season goes and reassess at the trade deadline. If they were going to make a trade before opening day, I could see them adding to their starting pitching depth because they have 2 guys on the IL right now. I could also see them adding another catcher because basically their entire catching depth is injured. Even Jose Trevino just went down recently. He should be back, though, for opening day. But as for infielders, I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised if something happens before opening day. But they definitely kind of have to arrange something, at least by the trade deadline, because they have too many players at a few positions.
Yeah, and they have to open up spots. So I mean, we'll see what happens there. I could even see them trading IKF, not even for a big league player, like a minor leaguer, just to open up that spot. Because if the Yankees want Anthony Volpe on the roster on opening day, they got to put him on the 40-man. So they have to lose someone. He's not on the 40-man now. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what the Yankees do. But I'll leave it at this. The player I expect to be traded the most, if anyone is going to get traded, is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.